My name is Michael Levie. What I do in life is more difficult. Enjoy. At this stage of my life, I spend a lot of time with startup companies, help and assist them, give a little bit back. I do work with a couple of investments, mostly in tech startups or tech companies, serving the hospitality. And I work on a couple of larger projects. And this is actually the first year that I left the day-to-day of Citizen M, the company I co-founded and we built over the past 17, 18 years. Rolled out, we're just shy of 30 hotels operational this year, and we have 18 developments under various stages of completion. And so the company has grown quite a bit, and after 17, 18 years I felt it would be good with the hospitality side pretty much institutionalized to go and do some other things that I still wanted to do. The hospitality industry is not the most educated industry, and a lot of people have gained their experience through working and has grown. So I mean, they have incredible knowledge, but it's just not academic. And one of the things that I found early on when I got started in the industry with a hotel school degree was just not enough. So I wanted a master's degree, looked at various opportunities, and then Cornell started this program with ESSEC, EME. And the first couple of years it was done joint with Cornell, later was taken over by EME, or by ESSEC only. And was fortunate to graduate from the first promotion in 1983. So that dates me a little bit. Entrepreneurial, has been there always. I remember when we were at ESSEC, the parties were terrible. So we took over and we said, we're the hospitality division, so we know what to do. So we put on some serious parties, and the ESSEC always said, that these parties were not profitable. And we figured, how can they not be profitable? So we just agreed that we would pay them or break even, and that the rest would be ours. And we had a good student life, that's all I can tell you. So entrepreneurial was there already early on. I think that in our industry it's good to gain experience in various facets, and so my career path has taken me 18 years with an American company called Sonesta Hotels, and was at that point family owned. It's now a large REIT in the US, and it allowed me to see city hotels, resorts, opening hotels, conversions, and grow with the third generation of the family. Which was a great opportunity, and I enjoyed that very much. And at one point, I was living such a gypsy life, every couple of years moving my family all over the place, that once your kids get to an age that they should be stable, we decided to pick either the US or come back here to the Netherlands. And it ended up being the Netherlands just by job opportunity, and I worked for NH Hotels. They had a portfolio here of some 65 hotels and restaurants, and we acquired in Germany a large portfolio, and so I had my responsibilities there. But then already I felt that the corporate was good and very interesting, but the entrepreneurial kept creeping up, so it was better to start my own. And from that point on, some 20 years ago, I started to endeavor into small hotels turnarounds, and later on, get started with a couple of partners on Citizen M, and that was a 17, 18 year journey that is wonderful, and that leads us to today. I don't believe so much that ideas are born by one person. It can be that somebody has an idea, but it really was a group of us that got together, and each contributed from a different angle. So I was able to contribute from the operational hospitality. Senior partner in the project came from retailing, but had invested in hotels. had a lot to offer from how can we bring retailing more into the hospitality, and we have benefited largely from that. Third partner that brought us together had more supply companies into the industry, so the combustion comes together. Architect, other founding partners, so it is a combustion of things, and you've all you sort of work to a momentum that you get together, and there's a click, and all of a sudden, it just fits, and that's what happened with us. And I think that entrepreneurial is being smart, being wise, being passionate, being driven. But also, I think that the strongest entrepreneurs are empathetic. So they really understand or try to grasp what it is that somebody else brings to the table and respect that. And that's really what I think has become our success, that it's not of one person. It's of a group of us, and nobody wants to measure how much we did or did not contribute. It is the total that became successful, and so it's a true team effort, and that team grows. Huh? So it's not only 4, 5, 6 founding people that get together at that first moment, but it's also the teams that do the heavy lifting the first couple of years. So we feel that there's a founding team that is quite large. And we love people to take ownership that they participated in it, and nobody tries to claim it's single. We got together, and the architect on the project, Rob Wakemans, with Hans Meyer, who was really the original force behind designing the room and the concept. They have been working on it, and Hans pretty much full time, but not paid. And Rob, the architect, had an architectural company that he had to run, but also spent quite a bit of time on it. And they asked me to join to bring the entrepreneurial portion and the hotel operations and the if you wish, the brand component to it. And as we got started. My partner brought us together with the senior partner today that was working with a small team on building also a hotel brand, and the combustion of the two became Citizen M. And one night we had dinner, and we sat around the round table, and at the end of the dinner, Ratan Chadha, the senior partner, said, okay, this is one of those moments that either we're going to clear our agendas on Monday and get started, or in 15 years we go like, we should have done it. And two of us said we clear our agenda. And that's how we got started. And so it is full-time or nothing. I mean, if you have that luxury, because it consumes you. And really, the 17 years were a blink of an eye. It's a blurb. Because there's so much that you're involved in, so passionate about everything that needs to accomplish that, it is, it's full throttle. So full-time is the only way, I believe. A hotel room is 3 meters 50 wide, and our rooms are 2 meters 50 wide. So from a handicapped facility in an ADA in the US, you need to get sign-off. So we worked on that in the beginning, and you need specialists with that. You start to set up the structure of the company, you need to incorporate. So there's quite a bit that, and so I think that maybe the first couple of months we did by ourselves, but then you start hiring immediately, and you need to fund the company. Otherwise, if you don't believe in it, then it doesn't work. So there needs to be a base funding. I would like to not make the mistakes we've made, and there were many. Although we say that jokingly, I think that the mistakes have also made who we are today. And there's many companies that have a culture where mistakes or negatives are sort of swept under the table, and we celebrate them. So we can walk into meetings where people go like, oh my God, let me tell you what I screwed up today. I mean, they're proud about it, they're happy about it because they caught it, they fix it, and they want your support and input. So we have a culture where I think people are comfortable and very little hierarchy. People feel very much part of the organization, and yeah, they know that if you play hard, you make mistakes. So it's that simple. So I think that is comfortable. And I believe in the end, would we have done things different? Yes, possibly, because we were way too ambitious. We thought we would grow faster, we would be able to do much more than we did. But reality sets in and things take their course, and there's a lot that is not dependent or under your control. So you need to, live with it. Well, if you take the original idea as 100%, I would say that we delivered on that about 85%. So you pivot a little bit because we delivered maybe 125 or 130 in the end. So, right? So you make up the 15 that you drop off and then you add some. So, yeah, it pivots a little bit, but I would say the core remained exactly the same, but you learn. And I believe that that is part of being an entrepreneur. You're perfectly willing to fail. So you put something out there and you monitor it so that you can see and what you can learn from it. So this morning I had a call on a small company that we're setting up, and in conversation with the founders that are pushing it, I told them, I said, listen guys, why don't you just try it? Why figure out everything, to the nth degree when go out and see if it flies, and if it flies, continue. If it doesn't fly, adapt, adjust. And I think that people try to be too perfect, and it doesn't happen that way. Airbnb didn't start off as the Airbnb thought. There's a little company like Amazon that started slightly different. So I mean, you evolve and adapt. The core, like I said, is the same. I think that what you learn is that, look, our industry is relatively simple. It is very capital intensive to build. So whatever you can minimize on space that you need to build, with the exception of the guests, so their guest satisfaction not being impacted, you want to do that. Today, definitely, but in general, the labor market is also very complicated, and we're a labor-intensive industry on top of it. So if you are able to influence those two, that is the most important, and the only measure on the other side is not money, it's guest satisfaction. So everything we do is based on guest satisfaction, and that has made a huge difference for us. So the guest satisfaction focus is gigantic. That's where we measure, and that's the only measure of success. So that's the core, and the rest you adapt. So have we changed the food and beverage concept a little bit? Sure, we adjusted it because what is for one hotel is maybe not for the other. We introduced some meeting space, which we call Society M. We introduced rooftops in some, locations where there was a great opportunity for that. So you try to add and do some different things and you adjust, but in general, I would say that the core, identical, stays the same. I believe that the only way that you become known is if you go out there and talk about yourself, right? There is no other way. And there are people that believe that your product should do the speaking. But there is that in-between stage where you don't have product yet and you need to get out there and you need to grow. Plus, we started with the hotel at Schiphol at the airport and this one. And you grow over time. In the first couple of years, we were able to do one hotel a year, which was already difficult. So when you're small and you want to be a big company or you want to be a big idea and you want to get speed behind it and also, get the required financing behind it, you need to be a little bit bigger than you actually are. So, we went to a lot of trade shows. We met with a lot of people. We tried to reach out as much as possible and spread the enthusiasm. And I think that is really what entrepreneurs do. They don't sell their product. They make people enthusiastic about what they do. And that's a big difference. No, so actually it was Schiphol that opened up first. And so normally hotels sell by segmentation, right? So they have the corporate segment, they have the individual segments, and then they have groups and, volume business like cruise or whatever. And we decided we only do individual business. And we look more at the channel it comes in by than that we really make segmentation, because I really don't care whether you stay with me for business or leisure. I understand that midweek most probably it's more business and the weekend is more leisure, but I really don't care why you stay with me as long as you stay with me and as long as I have the right target audience. So when we opened up Schiphol, there is a gigantic Microsoft headquarter office right next to us, and the interior to there and our were like almost seamless. And knock on the door, can I have a corporate contract? No, we don't do corporate contracts. Then we cannot work with you. Then most probably you cannot work with us. Yeah, but we have 4,000 rooms that we want to, put in your hotel. Yeah, I would like those 4,000 rooms, but so in the beginning it was really tough to stick to what it is that we had planned to do. And I think that now, 17, 18 years later, we see that the industry is migrating away from segmentation and looking at channel. Is it coming in through my direct channel, my own, website and booking engine? Or is it coming in through an online travel agent? Is it coming in through the GDS? What are the costs associated with each of those channels? So we become more and more sophisticated. And in the beginning, it was a very lonely road, and the systems didn't help us either. So we had to invest a lot of time and energy in new things. But it worked well for us. But those... if you have an empty hotel and you're opening up 230 rooms and it's your first hotel and you turn away 4,000 rooms because you don't want to sign a contract, it was a little scary, that's for sure. I think that our intent was to do 2-3 hotels, in our direct, geographical vicinity. So we ended up with Schiphol in this hotel, and then we opened up Glasgow. And it was a good step away from the Netherlands and see to do it in a different jurisdiction. And we from there migrated to London and on. But I think that our ambition was always large. So we had a big acquisition team, we had our funding well in place. And the ambition was to roll out, not to just do 1 or 2 hotels. So our focus was very much on how do we build that, how do we put volume behind that, and have the teams to bring that in, right? Because it takes hands to do that. So that was a little bit how we went about it. We chose the cities by 18 criteria that we came up with ourselves. And then based on those criteria, we filtered through opportunities. Turned down a lot and fought for a lot of locations that we didn't get, but we're very proud of the portfolio we do have, because we have, in most cases we have AAA locations that a lot of people are jealous about and don't understand how we were able to get them. And we're proud about the locations. Initially, the partners brought in money to get the first hotel started, and we were lucky that at an early stage a big institutional believed in us, and they have been our equity partner almost since the first hotel. And to have a big institutional that usually do not invest in venture money or in venture projects. We were lucky to have them on board. Still today, they're our principal partner. We have since added a second institutional that they work with a lot also, and they do deals together in the marketplace. So there's not a whole host of characters around. There's people from the very beginning or that have joined us a couple of years ago. It's a very dedicated team, and we're extremely transparent. Everybody, deals with each other and knows of each other, so it's a very comfortable process. I think that we pretty much got funded, and part of that funding was that the founders got a small compensation for the time and work that they were putting in. Just so it depends on how you structure and fund it, but it's not always automatic. In our case, we were pretty strong structured and financed, and not everybody participated, so it was a good way for us to compensate for those that did. I do believe in growing with the organization, so be humble and grow with it, and be smart with what you can and cannot afford. You go through stages. So, when I was at ESSEC, you're very ambitious. You have a little bit too much energy on your hands, and you want to get started, right? And you look ahead and you think that everything is incredible and everything is awe and wow. And I think that when you get started on your career, my advice always is do the things that you like, because you might as well, like what it is that you're doing, because you need to bring in money for your livelihood. And if you can combine those two well, you grow into your own environment. If you're at the tail end of that career and you are financially a little bit more comfortable, you get the opportunity also to give a little bit back. So it's not only how do I climb the ladder, it's how do I give back. And that giving back is a lot in your knowledge and experience that you have built up. It is in maybe the opportunity to make some things come to life, investments or opportunities. And so that's the stage that I'm at. But I'm still plenty ambitious, and I do way too much, and everything I still like. So I'm still like a young dog with that concerns. I still jump on everything. But I think that we need to do what we're passionate about and what you're good at, and then the rest will follow, and have a good time. And the only decision that I have introduced since 2-3 years is that either things give me energy, I do them, and if I notice that they don't give me energy, I just turn around and walk away. I don't do them anymore. But that's a luxury that not everybody can take, but I'm happy that I'm at that stage. The hospitality program at ESSEC was fantastic, and really also through the alumni gave me a great network and everything. So that was really nice. Learned a lot in the operations also. And just when you gain over time you gain a lot of experience that is relevant, if you wish. I worked for a while with two professors that came up with the blue ocean theory of another French university, ENSEAD. And I was very privileged with them to work on what we were doing with Citizen M, and they described us in their second book, Blue Ocean Shift. And I traveled a little bit with them also giving presentations, and met throughout the world incredible entrepreneurs and industry leaders. And that is I think the most interesting is if you learn from those around you. I spent a lot of time at universities and with young people. I volunteer at certain associations. So I do believe that those that only take, no good, no bueno. You need to participate and give back as well, and then that balance fulfills you. So it's a cycle, and at one point it would be nice that if you can contribute your knowledge and your experience, but you do not have to actually do the chore and do the work, then that most probably is the ideal balance. I think there's a couple of rules to the game. So if you're passionate about something and if you believe in a product, then don't listen to anybody about the concept or the idea itself. Just be open, obviously, to improve it or to get different feedback. But in essence, you're the owner of that idea. So hug that ball and run with it. What does happen, and I see that a lot with startups, is that when you focus a lot on your product or your service, You have the tendency to look at the content and at the process. And the thing that you very quickly lose out of sight is the context. Why am I doing this? What's the big picture? And in that big picture, you also need to become a company. So how do I incorporate? Where do I incorporate? What are the fiscal and financial implications of that incorporation? How do I get funded? What type of money do I need to get funded? How much do I dilute when I get funded? And then you need to run your company. You ask the question, do you put people on the payroll, yes or no? And you need to start to grow, and you need to bring information in order to have your idea get started. All that, there's a lot of people that have a lot of experience with that. So have people help you with that part, because you have zero experience and you should spend your time on the other side. But understand that only thing that you're doing is content and process. So take a big picture and don't lose the overall objective out of sight, and get help. And then usually gray hairs are good. They have a lot of experience. And like any advice, it in the end is your decision. So whatever advice you get, if you don't believe in it, don't do it.